Hi, friend. Welcome to Holly's Highlights, a podcast designed to encourage, inspire, and equip you to intentionally live your life full of purpose. I'm your host, Holly Kirby, motivational speaker, leadership cultivator, marketing strategist, and personal cheerleader. Let's check out today's highlight. Hi, friends. I'm so glad you're here. Whether you're listening with a coffee cup in hand, on your morning commute, folding laundry, or even taking your evening walk, I want you to know you're seen, you're valued, and you being in this space is appreciated. I am so grateful to have been able to spend Mother's Day with my family herd yesterday, Sunday school with my ladies to fill me socially in the morning, church to fill me spiritually, lunch to definitely fill me physically, and of course, time together playing mini golf to fill me mentally. I actually had to juggle 7 people playing golf while having conversations and playing mini golf myself. It was a little bit of a mental challenge, but we did it. And no, I did not win. I cherish each and every moment with my people, and I'm just so thankful for the gift of moments like yesterday. Let's be honest though, Mother's Day can be beautiful. We tend to think of pretty flowers and cute dresses and dainty tea parties, but it can also be complicated. After all, according to time.com, back on May 8th of 1914, Congress passed a law declaring the second Sunday of May as Mother's Day, and then the next day, President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed it as an official holiday, but it was meant to honor mothers whose sons had died in war. Now, maybe you were celebrated on Mother's Day, or maybe you felt forgotten or left out. Maybe like me, your mama has passed away, or maybe you're grieving the mother you never had. Maybe you're grieving the child who passed away too soon, or even an estranged child you miss, or even the child you're still praying for. Psalms 34:18 tells us, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted, and he saves those who are crushed in spirit." But here's the truth. Mother's Day was never meant to be the only day that we honor women who nurture, lead, and love. It's a moment, however, the legacy of motherhood is lived every day. Billy Graham said, "The influence of a mother upon the lives of her children cannot be measured." So let's talk about what it means to live that influence each and every day. Whether you're a mom, a spiritual mom, a mentor, or just someone doing your best to love people well, this episode is for you. If we're being real, the day after Mother's Day can feel a little bit off sometimes. You go from flowers and breakfast in bed and handwritten cards to dishes in the sink, the milk left out, laundry to be done, and family wondering what's for dinner. Or maybe it's quiet, just too quiet. And you start entertaining thoughts in your head wondering, did I or do I make a difference? Your value should not be rated on the applause or recognition you get, but rather your impact is built through the consistent, quiet perseverance, often unseen decisions and actions that reflect your integrity, your commitment, and your purpose over time. The hugs, the prayers, the midnight feedings, the verses whispered when no one hears but heaven. That's kingdom work, my friends. The legacy of motherhood? It's not just in moments. It's in the ministry of the mundane. I often have to cling to Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. So how do we take the heart of Mother's Day and carry it into the other 364 days of the year? Well, let's focus on 3 practical ways. First one is to anchor in your identity. Don't let a greeting card define your worth. Go to God's word. Psalm 139 says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Not because of what you do, but because of who made you. Might I encourage you to write that down, Psalm 139, and any other verses that remind you of who you are. Put them where you'll see them, in your car, on your mirror as you get ready in the morning, sticky notes on your laptop, whatever works for you. Now, I do have to share kind of a funny fact here. I used to write verses with a dry erase marker on the bathroom mirror, but then my children got upset with me saying that that's not where we're supposed to write on things. So I stopped as not to confuse them, as I didn't want them to start graffitiing up things and saying, well, my mom taught me how to do this. Oh, the things we think about as a mama. Number 2, live intentionally. Faith-filled motherhood is about stewardship. Whether it's your time, your words, or your influence, plant seeds today for a harvest tomorrow. Galatians 6:9 tells us, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. So choose one small thing that you can do each day that aligns with the legacy you want to leave. It might be a prayer you say for your children as you drop them off at school or head in to start your workday. I've even prayer walked every office I've worked in. Or maybe it's a text to encourage another mom. I try to take a moment before bed to think, is there anyone from my day who I should follow up with, sending a quick text to encourage them? Maybe it's simply a moment to slow down and listen. I've shared before that my dad has taught us kids that we have one mouth and two ears for a reason. Listen more than we speak. But I got some great advice from author Arlene Pellicane, who we've had here on season 2, believe episode 29, about parenting and screen time for kids. Well, she advised to physically turn your body to who you're listening to and then make eye contact with them. I've really tried to adapt that with my children. Remember, consistency is greater than grand gestures, though. To go a little deeper on this one, you may want to listen to the episode, How Do You Want to Be Remembered? On season 2, episode 16, here on Holly's Highlights. Number 3, build community. You know, the enemy loves isolation. So find your people, the ones who see you and cheer for you and pray for you. And if you don't have that yet, ask God. Maybe even take the first step by reaching out to someone else who might feel alone themselves. 1 Thessalonians 5:11 reminds us, therefore encourage one another and build each other up. We need one another. When my former husband walked out, I went into isolation out of what I felt was trying to be respectful to him to be able to return home and not face all the shame and the embarrassment. But I got to tell you, after our divorce, when I stepped back into community, it was so encouraging and uplifting to know I had people around me to love on me and hold me accountable and care about me. I personally feel the best place for this is church. I am so grateful for my people through churches from throughout my entire life who literally walk life with me in different seasons. But you can also build your community with neighbors, school, work, the gym, networking groups, interest groups, you name it. I'm grateful for a friend I have on Facebook where if I don't post for a bit, she checks in. For another from church who reaches out to just see how things are going. Your community doesn't have to be large. After all, as Dr. Seuss put it, to the world you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world. You know, years from now, my kids probably won't remember what I got for a certain Mother's Day, or even what we did on that particular day. But they'll remember if throughout life I was consistently present, if I prayed with them, if I apologized when I messed up, if I owned my mistakes, if I lived what I taught. That's the legacy. So let's not chase a perfect performance, but let's pursue a faithful presence. Now, if you've been here in this space for long, it has been 6 seasons after all, with over 125 episodes. Thank you so much. But then you know I like to keep it real. I'm an open book. So I share this not for woe is me, but to be vulnerable with you in case you need to realize you're not alone. There have been many, many times I have felt not enough, unseen, unappreciated. And that question posed earlier about what impact am I making? Am I making a difference? Yeah, that's crossed my mind too. But I have learned that I have to take captive those every thoughts and make them obedient to God. I've had to remind myself I too am human and I'm going to make mistakes. But that doesn't define who I am nor negate all of my efforts, my track record throughout my entire lifetime. So I seek to not look for the return, so to speak, but to realize everyone makes their own choices, and my impact on others isn't going to equal perfection in them, nor should it. But I choose to thank God for those moments I do get to see or even hear about the impact, as I take that as an encouragement on those other less than days. You know, that moment I come home from time for myself, getting a pedicure and spending time at my mother's grave, to find one of my children had completed all their chores and even did extra just to try and make things a little bit nicer for me when I came home. For that decision another child makes that I hear about third hand that brings a smile to my face and pride in my heart for how well that child has turned out. Just as we can't place our value on our applause, we can't place our impact on others' performances or choices either. Although I do tell one of my children I literally pray for them to get caught in wrong choices so that corrective behavior can happen before those choices turn into larger consequences in life. But point being, we all experience those questions, those doubts, those insecurities. You're not alone. Friend, I want to leave you with this. You matter. What you do matters, even when no one's watching, especially then. If you're feeling tired, I pray you find rest. If you're feeling unseen, I pray you feel known. And if you're wondering whether you're making a difference, well, you are. Right now, right where you are. So what are we going to do this week? Not chase perfection, but presence. Not wait for applause, but anchor your value in truth. And don't walk it alone, but rather build your circle and lean into your faith. If this episode encourages you, would you do two things? First of all, share it with a friend who needs a little post-Mother's Day boost. And second, leave a review. By doing so, it helps more women find the space of truth, encouragement, and grace here on Holly's Highlights. And let me know on Instagram, so I'll add a third one, or even in the comments, what does living a legacy look like for you this week? I'd love to hear from you. I'll leave you with this. Your worth is not defined by a date on the calendar, my friends, nor the number of thank yous you receive or how put together you appear. It's defined by the one who made you, who sees you in every unseen moment, and who equips you to live out who he's created you to be. Until next time, keep showing up, keep shining your light, his light, and remember, you are not alone. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you for joining me on this journey of life. I hope that today's highlight has been encouraging, inspiring, and equipping so you can go out and live your life full of purpose. I'd be honored if you'd take a moment to leave a review, or better yet, subscribe. We can also stay in touch by joining my email list at hollycurby.com. That's HOLLYCURBY.com. Until next time, make it a great day for a great day.